Hello chums, and welcome to another Let's Play with me, RC, here on Video Chums. Today we're going to be playing a bit of Gravekeeper. Now, to be quite honest with you guys, I've already played about 45 minutes of this because I was recording a Let's Play for you already, and the video kind of went bleh on me. It went kablooey, it went corrupt. Not good, but that's okay because we could jump back into the fray right here and I could still show you how this game works. It's a very cool, very simple to learn game, and I can already tell you right off the bat that I definitely recommend checking out because it's pretty cool. Alright, so you play as this guy here, the bounty hunter. I call him the Gravekeeper, but they call him the bounty hunter in the game here. So let's jump right in. Let's fight. Now you notice that this game has a almost like Diablo over the top sort of hack and slash type feel to it here. You have your melee abilities here. You have your ranged crossbow that you could use on these little goblins here, which is pretty cool. Take these guys out, and pretty much every wave is the same thing. You get about 15 enemies you got to take out, and it counts up to 15. And every time you hit the next 5 levels of something, you're going to get a boss to fight, and when you fight the boss and defeat the boss, you actually get a chest that has more loot in it that you can use with your character to upgrade them. We'll get to all that in just a second here. Let's focus on taking these guys out here. You see we've reached stage 18. Now you can see, you know, we didn't start at stage 1. We're starting at stage 18. We're actually in the second, I guess we'll call it the second tier of levels here. I got through the first tier and a half of this game already. Look at all these different crazy demon things that are shooting at us. So we're actually starting for where we left off, which is at stage, what was it, 16 when we started, I think? So now we're hitting 19. Once we finish this one, we'll be heading to the boss. Take those guys out. One of the other abilities you get too is you get this cool thrust ability that you can use. You can see down in the bottom right, it does have a cooldown, so when that recharges, then you can use it again. So now you have the option of actually going to the boss fight, and woo, avoid those guys. If you don't want to fight the boss yet, you don't feel powerful enough, you can actually keep taking enemies out, and you can keep collecting coins. Now I'm going to show you what these coins do. Actually, if you go into the menu, you have 2 different things you could do here. Well, many different things, but you could basically upgrade your weapons, change out your weapons and armor and stuff like that a bit, if that's what you feel like doing, if you collected something new. Or you can go to these missions and daily quests. So daily quests every day, you can see during my first attempt at a video today, I actually finished all the daily quests here, and you know, they range from kill 150 enemies, upgrade 15 times, finish, you know, all stages, you know, use your ability attacks, and you're going to gain something for everything you do here. The missions are very much the same thing here. We actually have one to claim. I'm getting one for kill 25 enemies using a ranged weapon. So now if we use our ability that I was showing you 3 more times, we'll get another 156 gold, and you're going to want that because that gold is used over here to upgrade your items. So for example, we have 2,300 pieces of gold, so we can actually go through here, we can upgrade our axe, we can go over to our bow, we can upgrade that, we can go to our armor, and it would seem as though we actually do have new armor we could put on, which is pretty cool. We got this from the previous level, the previous boss set here. You could tell here that even at level 4, this one is probably going to be more powerful than this one. They give you a star rating, so let's equip that. We'll upgrade this a few times. See, we're already at 159, and it's 2 levels under what the Fearful Vest was at. But what's cool is you'll see that the Fearful Vest and the Primitive Mail at the top here both have different colors. So there are actual skins in this game that you can get too. One of the things I was talking about in the previous videos, I was talking about, man, the only thing this game really needs now is skins, and lo and behold, if you get different vests, you get different skins and different looks, which I thought was really, really cool. So we're going to upgrade this all the way up to, yeah, we'll get all the way up to 15. And for stuff that you're not really using, you can actually go to details, and you can hit sell. You can sell that. But if you go to details, you're also going to see what your armor offers. So this one actually offers plus 27% to defense. The stone armor offers a plus 30% defense when low health. We're just going to sell that off because we don't need it. Of course, you can upgrade and get other abilities. I did have another ability at one point, but I sold it because this ability is more powerful. And of course, when you collect those little stones, you have passive skills that you can buy and upgrade too. So you can get a Ghost Knight that actually helps fight with you. You can get a Minion that I believe, yeah, get help from Minion to get all the gold on the path. That'll help you collect gold. So there's a lot of different things you can do here, which I think is really, really cool. Of course, there's also a shop if you so choose to spend your Power Stones on gold to buy a ton of gold. You can do that. If you want to use your Power Stones to buy those other brown stones, or rather, if you want to use your gems to buy the Power Stones here, you can do that as well. And then they're going to offer you different offers throughout here. So what I do like about that is it does all these things without adding in actual microtransactions. That's kind of nice, and something that's actually a sort of a nice thing to see in games nowadays. One of the other things I want to point out about this game too is, like, when I was first playing it, I noticed that the enemy counts, or not the enemy counts, but the enemy styles, like, you basically, for the first 25 levels of this, you're fighting against zombies, and they change a little bit in that, you know, you're eventually going to run into some ranged ones. You're eventually going to run into ones that are crawling on the ground to come at you and stuff like that. But for the most part, they don't change a whole lot. And I was getting a little disappointed because I'm like, oh, I really hope this game isn't just that, because it's really fun to play. And I will tell you guys right off the bat, it's a very fun game. But as I progressed past the first 25 levels, it actually put me into this new area. So you're going to see a completely different area after this level here, too. We're going to actually go and take on the boss here so we can take him on and show you what a boss fight is like. So these boss fights are different every time you come to it. You're going to get more or less a pick from the same 4 or 5 bosses, but they range in different abilities, different strengths, and different sizes. Sometimes you're going to get a boss who's gigantic, but he's a boss that you fought before, but he's much more powerful because of that. And every time you fight a boss, here you go. Here's our first chest here. We got an Iron Bark Axe and a War Blade, both melee weapons, which is fine with me. I really like the melee stuff that's in this game. It's very fun. But you can see here that the bounty hunter guy is, I know he actually ran to the same area. I thought he was going to run to the skeleton area, which is where we first started here. Hopefully we'll get to see that after this round here. So from what I could tell, every 25 levels you go, there we go, I got this guy blowing up here. Every 25 levels you go, you're going to fight the Skeleton King. And when you fight the Skeleton King, it gives you it basically offers you to completely restart from stage 1. And even though you start from stage 1, none of your upgrades or your armor or your weapons or anything go away. So that's a great thing to keep in mind when you're restarting, is that you're restarting to get different treasures and do different things. Oh man, couldn't quite get away from that one, could we? But there's always a perk to doing that. You're not just doing it, you know, and losing all your stuff and everything like that, which I thought was pretty nice. What did we get? Okay, so we got our upgrades here. Level 11 and level 10. These are all going to be pretty negligible, I think, as far as the upgrades go. So this one I'm going to sell. And the other one, I'll hold on to that one for right now. I don't need to spend any gold. I can hold back. One of the other things, too, is that the enemies will harm each other, which I thought was a pretty fun touch. If you have that guy blowing up and there's enemies walking into, you know, the area where he's blowing up, they will also blow up and get hurt. So I was happy to see that. Always like the enemy infighting from, like, older games and stuff like that. So it's cool to see that in this game as well. They don't exactly fight each other or anything, but it's nice that, like, their attacks actually register against them too. It's a certain piece of, like, game polish that I feel like a lot of games kind of forget. We're gonna jump right to the boss fight here. Who do we got? Oh, we got this guy. Alright, this guy's got a mad reach on him here, so we want to stay away from him. See, he could swing and he can reach pretty far. Oh. See, that bomb actually hurt him a bit. That helped us out, leading him into the bomb area, which is pretty cool. So there we go. We took that boss out. We collect this chest. We get another tunic and a war mace. And at this point, I believe we get to take a crack at the Skeleton King. Here we go. Here's one of our other areas. This one's actually completely new to me. Well, I guess we don't get to take on the Skeleton King yet. Last time was actually stage 25. So Maybe it changes as the game goes on. I think at this point, though, I saw it in the options. We get to sort of decide when we want to take on the Skeleton King. So maybe we'll just do that, you know, in a second here. Maybe we'll hit level 11 and we'll go after the Skeleton King here. Because the more you take out the Skeleton King, the more you can start over and then keep getting better and better upgrades. Which is definitely what you want to do. Okay. Get out of here. Stage 28. See, at the beginning of the game, I actually had basically two levels that I was dealing with that both had this sort of, like, look to it. You know, the grassy look with the trees and stuff like that. And I was a little disappointed because I thought, man, it's only going to be these 2 levels for this, you know, fun little game. It's kind of unfortunate. But no. Now that we've gotten into the second tier of levels, you can see that, yes, they have added in quite a few other styles of levels, which I was pretty happy about. Alright, we got a 287 at... Nah, it's not that much better. We have this one at level 12. That's not that much better either. Okay, so we'll hold off on those for now. But yeah, there's a certain polish about this game. Sometimes you get into indie games and you're never sure what you're going to quite get from screenshots and a trailer and stuff like that until you actually play the game. You can get a vague idea. You're like, okay, this one seems like it's going to be pretty cool. Sometimes you'll play another one where you're like, oh, this one I'm not so sure about. But this was one where I definitely saw the trailer. I was like, it looks like it could be cool. And it ended up actually surpassing my expectations for it because I wasn't sure what I was actually getting into. Because you can never tell, sometimes with these 3D, you know, indie games, you never quite know what you're going to get. Sometimes you're going to get something that blows you away, and other times you're going to get something that's just like, oh man, that could have been better. This one is sort of like, I think, closer in the blow me away category. I wouldn't say that it's like, you know, a game that, you know, is going to blow everybody away, or a game that I would consider like, you know, game of the year or anything like that. But it surpassed my expectations. It's got a really deep upgrade system. It's got a cool loot system. It's got a lot of cool different enemies in it. It's a fun, just time-wasting hack and slash type of game that offers just a lot of replayability and stuff. We're almost at level 11, by the way. Then we'll go after the boss. There we go. We hit 11. Now let's go after the boss. So we'll take the boss out. Look at this big guy here coming after us. Whew. This guy could really take off some health. One of the things I did point out earlier is that I really wish that this game had a dodge or a roll type of move, because sometimes I find myself wanting to dodge away from an enemy when I get too close, and that can be really... Oh man, I gotta use a potion because he'll kill me on the next one if I don't. He's almost done. But yeah, like right there, I would have liked to like just roll away, get like further away from him, you know, like a nice dodge system in this would have been nice. And that's one of the takeaways I would have for it. One of the other things too, let's see, what do we get this one? We got another thrust ability and a warblade. So far the prizes for this are not, they're not going great. They haven't been amazing to show off yet. Here we go, here's another cool little area you can fight in here. Much more Diablo-esque here, I would say. But we're actually going to pause. So this menu works really, really well. One of the other things I like about it too is that it's simple. It tells you everything you need to know like right off the bat. But it's a little janky the way it works. I really hope that this is something they also fix here, because sometimes you'll go over and you can use the LB and RB to upgrade things. So let's say for example we go to this one, we want to upgrade it, and then for some odd reason the buttons just stop working and you got to move over to your mouse to start using that. Now this game isn't, as of me playing this, isn't technically released, so I'm hoping that this is a planned fix, but we shall see. It would be a shame for a game like this to have this much, love and polish go into it to get to a situation where it's like, oh, I still just got to deal with these little annoying things, right? Because I quite honestly, let's upgrade this a lot. We got so much gold. Let's just go for it. Let's get that to 15. We'll get this to 15. What else we got? Our mail's already there. We can sell that one. Upgrade. We don't have enough for anything else. That's okay. But yeah, it would be a shame if these little things were overlooked, because you could tell a lot of TLC went into this game. You could tell that there are, you know, a lot of people behind this that put a lot of time and effort into what they were creating here. Because when I was playing my first video, I was talking about, like, the game needs this, the game needs that. I really hope we get to see some of this. And it was as if every time I mentioned something, the game would then be like, okay, you want a different type of level that looks different? Here you go. You got it. And then I was like, oh, this game could really use some skins. And it was like, boom, here you go. Here's some blue armor. So it does change the armor up. You know, you get different aesthetics, you get different enemies. And I'm very, like I said, I'm very, very impressed with what we're provided here. We're going to go to the king. Let's fight the Skeleton King and then start over. So every time you fight the Skeleton King, you get power stones, you get gems, and you get health potions. So we're going to go after him now. You can see here that we're going to be going after, let's see, we got 15 and 30. So I think those are the levels that you cross. If you reach those levels, then you probably get that added bonus there, which is kind of nice. We've currently reached stage... Well, let's finish this stage. Oh, we're stage 31, it says at the top. So let's just go to the king right now. And we'll take him out. So here you go. He runs to get to the Skeleton King. We'll go take him out. The Skeleton King so far in this game has not been too big of a deal to deal with, as long as you're upgrading enough. But this is what always happens, at least so far, 3 times that I've faced him, is that he'll actually kick you out, he waves to you, which I think is hilarious, and he kicks you back to stage 1. But you get all this cool stuff here, and then you can go in here and you can spend it. So, for example, now we can actually go in here and buy one of these cool things here. So we can add armor for 10, we got 16. Oh yeah, so you got other things too, like add health, add, oops, see. It's another one of the menu things too. Sometimes when you're using the mouse, the cursor disappears too. Again, little things that I think they're going to fix, and I really hope that they do. So right now, the only thing we can really do is add the minion that it will collect the gold, which I don't care too much about that, but we could add armor. Increases the basic armor defense. Maybe we'll buy that then. So now we're down to 6, but we got 21 gems. Now, the gems I haven't used for anything in this game yet. We've already done all our daily quests. We still got a few missions. There's one more object we destroy. We'll get 4 health potions. So we got 21 gems. We can't really buy anything with that except for 4 healing potions, which I don't really care about that. So we'll just continue on with the game. So you see here, actually, if we go to this, we could spend the 10 gems and jump right to stage 16. So, one of the other things you're going to notice is throughout this game, this girl will show up. I think her name is Anya, something like that. I was kind of making jokes earlier about, like, if she's in this dungeon telling you what to do, why is she not wearing armor? She's just wearing, like, a corset, which kind of made me laugh a little bit. But regardless, I think we're going to do this time. You have this offer, I guess, every stage 1 where you could spend some gems. You could jump right to stage 16. There we go. So there we are, we're now on stage 16. And that is going to make things a bit easier for us, which is pretty great. But yeah, I know I've talked this game up a lot. Some of you watching might be thinking, like, you know, it's just a normal hack and slash with an upgrade system and stuff like that. But considering, you know, a lot of the games that we get sent to play here and there, you know, some of the games we get are, they're usually always, there's some fun to be had with them. But like I said, this one just, like, definitely jumped all the expectations I would have had for it, which is, I think, what is really doing it for me. And this is one of those games I could also see working really well on other systems, especially something like the Switch. This is a game that I think would be a ton of fun on the Switch, especially if you're playing it portably. Like if you're waiting, say, in like a doctor's office or something, and you're just playing a couple stages of this, doing a little bit of upgrading here and there. I'm a really big fan of like pop-in, pop-out games that you could jump in, play a couple rounds of, and then pop back out. Because sometimes I want to get a game fix, but I don't have a lot of time to sit and just play for hours on end, you know? So if I can sit down, play for a half hour, and get a few levels in, those are the games that I usually end up liking a lot. feel like you're progressing through smaller areas, you know what I mean? Or smaller levels. Alright, let's take this guy out here. Woo! Almost got us there. Yeah, roll. I want to roll. That's what I want with this guy.
Yeah.
Boss killed. And we got another sword and another crossbow there. So I think you guys kind of get the point of the normal game here. It's pretty simple. Fight the Skeleton King anytime you want to restart and, you know, get more upgrades and everything like that. We'll claim our health potions there. What we're going to do is we're actually going to go back to the main menu. I kind of want to show you what the game offers in another aspect here too. They have something called Versus, so you can see here, I'm number 50 on the board. I am not great at this Versus mode. I've only played it once, but I did not do very good. But if you beat whoever you're facing against, you're going to get 2,000 coins, which is going to be very helpful in the game. By the way, I also want to give a shout out to these guys for not putting microtransactions in their games. They put in a menu that might look like it's microtransactions, but it's not. I don't see a way to really buy gems and everything like that. So if they don't include that kind of thing, you know, pay us money to get gems and that kind of thing, I want to give them a big thumbs up because I think that is awesome that they're just letting you grind out and collect these things through other modes here, because you can see here if you do well in Versus mode, you can actually collect a lot of those blue gems and use those for different things. All right, let's start a Versus here, and there we go. And you get to come in here with your normal character who's all leveled up and has all of his normal abilities and all of his normal weapons and armor and everything like that, which I think is awesome. So everything you do in this game, which is another thing I like about it, everything you do in this game basically, oh geez, I might as well just stay by him, because he's getting all the kills here. But everything you do in this game adds to your main character. So if you're doing Versus, if you're playing with people, if you're doing this, doing that, it is going to go to your normal tally with your character. So it's always going to apply to your level. It's always going to apply to your weapons and your gold and everything. I love that. I love that it all applies to you. Look, we actually won. First one to 30 wins, and we got 2,000 gold. New league position is 49. So it's adding in a whole other mode, which I think is great. You're getting more for your money with that. So you can see that we have now moved up to 49. I love that it also gives you a star rating, as you can see too. We have a star rating of 640 put all together. We should be able to beat several of these guys and get more gold and stuff. But there is one more thing called Royal Fight. I actually have not played this yet, so let's check it out, but it is endearing from what it sounds like it is. It's cooperate with other knights and survive as long as possible. So let's give it a shot. So here you go. It doesn't look like any of the stuff is actually online. It looks like the majority of what you're doing is all offline play, which is cool. So you're playing with bots right now, it would seem. Oh, get out of there. And you can see a sort of a health bar on top of your friends over there too. What I like about this game, because everything's offline and whatnot, it feels like a game that would have been released, say, like back in, like the PS2 GameCube days. Oh, get away from that guy. Oh man, we got bosses that are being added in here. This is kind of fun. So you get this huge, like, horde mode, like wave-based gameplay with all of these offline bot characters, which is pretty fun. I feel like this game would be even more fun if you could connect with your friends and play and do this. It'd be a good time. But yeah, this reminds me of a game from like the PS2 era though, because it is sort of a arcade style shooter. Oh no, I'm down! But we ended up getting 4,875 points. And what did we get for that? I didn't see. Oh, okay, you gotta hit 5K to get the first 500. Let's see if we can get that first 5,000 points there, because we were super close. But yeah, that era of gaming felt like, you know, and you're seeing a return to that sort of nowadays as well. But that era of gaming felt like companies were not afraid to like release a game that was just an arcade game on a PS2 or on a GameCube or whatever. And I love that, because it was like, oh, sometimes you're getting like this full-fledged story game that's like, you know, 10 hours long, maybe 20 hours long, whatever it is. If it's RPG, you know, tens of hours long. Run away! That's where I want the roll. But then you would also buy another game, you know, that might be a little bit cheaper, and they're like, hey, this is just like, you know, for example, like Tetris with a bunch of different modes in it. And that would come out on GameCube or whatever other kind of puzzle game, you know what I mean? And that's what this feels like. This feels like a very concentrated, like, we are going to put out this one style of game and come out with a bunch of different modes for you to enjoy in it. And I absolutely love that. I love that they just focused on what the game is and put out everything that they could think of with this game. So I apologize if it seems like I'm talking up this game quite a lot, but I feel like this is a really good template for a lot of other indie developers to check out to see, you know, to make sure that they're giving people their money's worth and that kind of thing. Let's see, we currently broke 5K. Next reward is at gives us 3 health potions. That might be a 10K, I'm assuming. You can see our buddies over there are not doing great on health, but they're not doing terrible. There we go. Next reward, we can get another 25 gems. So this will add to our single-player campaign. 25 gems we can use to spend on upgrading and stuff. That's the other thing too. This feels like a game that you could easily like play for a while and honestly unlock everything that you're trying to unlock in it, which is pretty cool. There's some games that like offer up like all of these crazy upgrades, but it feels like you gotta waste a lot of time to get up to them. And I feel like I progressed a lot in this game, you know, just in the short time that I played it. But there you go. We got 2 things. We got 500 gold and 3 health potions, which are still useful. Would have liked to get those blue gems, but hey, what are you gonna do? But yeah, that's Gravekeeper, guys. Like I said, I've talked it up a lot here. I've only played the game for probably what, just over an hour, maybe an hour and a half here. But I'm really digging it. I feel like this is a game I'm gonna pop back into every now and then and keep chipping away at my progress here because I'm really digging it. And hopefully this is a game that'll come out for the Switch in the future because I think it'd be a really good fit there to play portably, you know? But regardless, guys, I want to remind you to follow us here on Video Chums because we come out with Let's Play videos like this and gameplay videos every week, tons of them. Please subscribe and enjoy those. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my own personal channel, which is Watch GGRC, because I do all kinds of different style videos there, like vlogs and reviews and whatnot there. So definitely subscribe to both channels, and I'll see you all next time on the next Let's Play here on Video Chums. See you then.